All right. Hello, everybody. Louis Borsellino, and this is going to be our live trading session for the next hour. I want to get this business out of the way first. Here's our disclaimer. Trading futures, options on futures, and retail off-exchange foreign currencies transactions involve substantial risk or loss and is not suitable for all investors. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your circumstances, knowledge, financial resources. You may lose all or more of your initial investment. Opinions and market data and recommendations are subject to change at any time. Past performance is not indicative of future results. The following information is an expression of our opinions and is provided for educational purposes only. Okay, we okay? All right. So now I got that out of the way. The way to start, make a large fortune in commodity trading is to start with a big one. And then this way, if you start with a big one, you can turn it into a smaller fortune. You'll still have a fortune. I think I screwed that joke up, but it doesn't matter. All right. We've kind of had, here's the profile. Here's our 5-minute pivot, okay? I mean, our 5-minute chart. And you kind of see that we've went 2.5 hours basically straight up. Here's the kind of days that you got to hate, because they didn't take the Globex high out, so that told me that they were getting finished up here. And this morning I said I really wish they took the Globex high out before I wanted to buy these things. And so I kind of sat on my hands and have done virtually nothing. And now I'm looking here. Here's the 5-minute pivot. And let me bring these down for you. As you can see, that's the Dow. That's the NASDAQ. They're flirting with their 5-minute pivot, right? Now, here's my, and this is why this trade could be called a trade from the middle, right? All right, so we started inside of value on the outside of value this morning at 8:30, okay? And the market basically just went straight up. It was actually like, sailing a sailboat, to me, sailboat racing is kind of boring. But at the end of the day, it was just a rally, went straight up, and then the market profile was not filled in. Like if I separated here, this is the way it looked. All right. So I've been looking for this pullback in here to fill in the market profile, right? But we're still not finished in the bottom. So there's a couple things that are going on that are bothering me at this point. Number one, if we take out the 5-minute pivot, I think then we'll go down and we'll probably go and test the lows. All right. I can't get back involved in this market until it goes back above value and would take this high out here, which is 6.25. So I really, kind of sitting on my hands. I mean, it's a flip of the coin right now. All right. Now, also, if you see here the CCI, okay, it crossed, and these things went straight up and were ascending until about here, and then I tweeted about 11 o'clock, and I was looking for a pullback, right? So now they've kind of flattened out, and this is going to be the point of contention right here. Will these cross and then start go back down? We finally, here's our other tool that we look at. Here, the CCI crossed the middle point, which is the pink, went up and made a top, came back down, came up, made top, never crossed the center line, finally crossed the center line, and this is with the pullback. Now, my best guess is telling me, because we didn't hold that 475 area, so if I'm going too fast, type your questions on Twitter, because that's where you're going to get the answers from me. So the high is 99.5. We're in a 5-minute rotation. Our average 5-minute rotation is 4.75 points. That brought us to 2094.75. Okay. If we don't hold that 2094.75, then I think it's going to make a second rotation, and the second rotation is going to bring us to basically 2090. So, even though I have a bullish bias, it made the move without us today. It didn't get a low enough low for us to buy it. and then went up and we rallied 1,000 points. So it's kind of the dilemma. All right, look, the YM is now taking out its 5-minute pivot. Here you go. Here's 2 dots. The YM is taking out the 5-minute pivot. All right. So that's the first of the majors to take it. And now here we are. We've taken our 5-minute pivot out. Here, double dots, okay? So, and then remember I told you this morning, if you watched the video, that this gray area has to get filled in. These gray areas on the profile. So, you know, it's been kind of difficult to, you know, when they take it straight up for 3.5 hours. So now I'd be in selling rally mode. Let's see if this continues with the cross right here. And let's see if this now makes another move down. Okay? We need the NASDAQ to help us out. Russell could do what it wants. So that's where I'm at. All right, so now I'm and I would want to sell rallies. Okay? But we're going to have to get some more confirmation, and it's 12 o'clock, right? So I was telling Debbie, who's our producer, that we need a good old-fashioned crisis, not just Greek crisis. We need crisis. When crisis is around, the market gets sell off, and the drones and the computer guys can't control the market like they've been controlling it for the last week and a half. So if you got questions, let's get them out to me and let's talk about it. No questions, all right? Good. This is, like I said, it's a move from the middle. It's incredibly hard to trade this way when, you know, and 2 things happened. They didn't take out the Globex high, and they didn't take out the Globex low. That, to me, for any time I need confirmation to keep going in one direction, that is like the key item. You got to take out the Globex low and high. Let's see what happens with bracket I. Probably get a little backfill up to here. Let's see if it fails, and then if it's going to go down and keep filling in the profile on the downside. Kind of because it's been so blah, you know. It's been so blah. It's hard when the markets are at these levels for markets to do anything, because the only people that really are involved are the dealers, and the retail people are sitting on the sidelines. There's just really nothing to do. I mean, and you're sitting off all-time highs. Let's go to let me pull up another chart. So when I was talking about today, here's the SPX, right? So here's a cash chart, and we still have not taken out our pivot, which would, you know, so we've been up here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row right now that's higher closes, and we still have no acceleration through the top, right? And that's alarming to me. So, all right, we're looking at the CCI here. We're flirting around now. What was the low of that? So the low of that break was 2091.5, right? This last breakdown.
Got a question here.
Okay. Go ahead. Read it off, Anthony. Did you guys meet?
How do you calculate the average rotation?
It's on a 5-minute chart. We put it out every day, and it has to do with the volatility. So the average rotation, it's done on our software that we use. And 2 weeks ago it was at 600 points. So now we're looking at 2091.5, 2091.5 plus 4.75 equals 2096.25, right? That's where it could rally to. And if you take a look, remember I said I would not get it, you know, above here. That high is 2096.25. So you know, those are the kind of things that I look at, and when it's trading slow like this, it's just so hard, because they'll sit in this trading range, and then all of a sudden, boom, they'll pop up or they'll break. So our 5-minute pivot's down. I think that this 95 half. We got to see if that's gonna um, the people that want to trade the top of value again. Remember, the point of control is right here, 2090.25. Point of control is 2092.75, which is the most volume traded at that price on yesterday. So we are testing. Uh-oh, I'm having problems with the computer, it looks like. With my charts for sure. Disconnected. I hope it's not disconnecting. You can hear me still? All right, thanks, Deb. Well, my charts are not. Oh, there they are. All right, fine. They started updating again. Okay. All right. So, any other questions?
Got a few questions coming in.
All right.
Were you looking for some exhaustion on your candlesticks?
Well, remember what I told you the other day about this dotted line is this moving VWAP, and if you can see, this is something we've programmed into the software that we use. You see these dots up here and the red lines? This becomes a standard deviation, two standard deviations from the moving VWAP. Now look at this, it's starting to cross here. Okay, let's see if this is going to maintain itself. And then also right here, this was a point that I drew based on profile movement right here. What is this? 2094. Okay, 2094. If we stay underneath 2094, my next key level is 91.75. Let's see if this maintains itself and they bring it down. So it was two standard deviations from what we call this is the moving VWAP. Okay, volume weighted average profile, VWAP, volume weighted average profile. So we have built this into our software. Pat has programmed it into it. Okay. Another question?
Okay, we got another question here. When you're flat, how do you trade when you cross the value area low and the value area high to enter a trade?
All right.
To enter a trade.
So here's another thing you have to understand about value. All right. So we started inside of value, outside of value, went outside, right? Went upside, outside of value, okay? And then went outside. And now we're back inside of it. So I'm going to tell you, if we spend 30 to, let's say 45 minutes inside value, the moves that go start here and go up and come back inside value, the moves on the back down become more violent. So especially if we get to the bottom and we can't hold it. So I don't know if I answered that question. Here's the question, right? Value is important. Otherwise, I wouldn't be putting it up every day. Okay. So when I start out underneath value, okay, and we've made a low, and I get back inside value, okay. So we're inside value here. Okay. All right. We had our little spike down, then we're back out. I would be looking like right here. You see I drew this right here, what this low was? I'd be getting long here, 2080, right, back in value, which would be like the 2090 half area. And I'd be looking for this candlestick low to get me out. See those two lows? I'd put a stop underneath that. And then I would add a 2-point risk and would have looked at, potential upside of value to, that's a 500 points, and then to the high is like 700 points. So that's sort of how I use value. It depends on, it's just not one thing. I mean, our pivots were bullish or bearish to start out the day. I didn't like that because, I wanted to be a buyer. But I think one of the key things that was important today is when you don't take out the Globex low or the high, if you start out at that range, it's really indicative that the market is going to go back up if they don't take out the low, especially when we got confirmation in bracket C. I mean, this is not typical of the way profiles move. I mean, they're just because it's low volume right now. I'm sorry, I got to put these back together. And now I got to go back to splitting it. Hold on. All right, there we are. All right, so right now with the Dow and the S&Ps in a sell and the Nasdaq and Russell still in a buy, I think we're still looking at choppy. Um, I think bracket I is going to start moving in and filling down here. So, you know, that's what I'm looking for. Because this 475 didn't hold. I'm looking for the second rotation down. Now I'm looking for 90 even. So I know everybody's going to ask me these questions. I'm going to tell you something. There is no steadfast rule. It's about how all these components fit into one another. Where did I start out? On my back inside value. Did I get above value? Now I'm back inside value. What's going on with the pivots? What's going on with the CCI? What's going on with momentum? I got a cross here. Okay, this is a cross. Okay, this is turned to red. The VWAP's red. Okay, I mean, this is telling me that, you know, all practical purposes, if we go 2 standard deviations down, we'll be down back to 2087. So, but, you know, these are all, here's this momentum, here's our indicator, right? It stayed green until 11:30, then it went gray. So these things don't go from green to bearish. They go from green to neutral, and if it gets momentum now on the downside, it'll go to red. So today is a really bad day because they didn't take out the top and bottom of their values. So it looks like it's, I mean, the high and low of Globex, and it looks like it's going to be a range-bound day. And I kind of said that today. Two-sided trade today. I mean, the idea of the way they, you know, and this is what aggravates me, is that these drones took it all the way up, and you could see all their orders selling and all the way into it, and they're going to be buying it all the way down if we break. To get down to the, you know, I'm already looking now at 91. There's 1,000 contracts bid on, 700 at 90 half. So between 91 and 90, even what I said I thought we were going to, there's about 4,000 cards bid on it. That's another thing I look at. That ends up sometimes being a target. So those are, you know, several of the ways. So I can't give you a specific answer. Here, we got back inside value. All right. We got this thing. And then once we got this up here, this confirmation here, it is buying tail down. You could have got long and put your stop at the bottom of these tails right there. Okay. All right. Got other questions?
Yeah, we had a few coming in here. Is there any reason the RTH high was to the tick on the spike up to 20.99 half?
What's RTH high?
It's the regular trading hours.
Well, the only reason is RTH. Okay. Look, usually 75% of the time, the high is the high or the low is put in overnight, and then we just end up trying to test it. Here we go. We're going 92 here. Remember, I'm looking for, if we get through 91.75, I think that's another area we got to look at. I'm looking for the market to go down to 90 even. 90 even is what we're looking for. I think they're going to get some resistance at 91. So still got the Nasdaq kind of sitting there. I wish they'd jump on our side. You know, we got the Dow down 35, we're down 3, Russell's unchanged, Nasdaq's up 16. I haven't looked at any stuff. If anybody out there, if you're monitoring the Apple or some of the big ones, can you get a lot of notifications there, Dan?
Yep, trying to keep everything in order.
All right, what we got?
Going.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is part of the same tweet. Do you ever hold trades for multiple days? And for risk management reasons, how many ES contracts would you recommend for every 100K?
All right. So if you got $100,000 in the market, you know, I'd be looking at your full margins. So what are they, about $5,500 full margins now, Nathan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So trade a 4 lot, and I don't know what, you know, it's a hard question to answer because, you know, a lot of these firms let you day trade with $500 on it. So, you know, if you're looking to make a rate of return on $100,000, all right, I would use the full margin leverage. and just trade 4 contracts. So now we're getting this bounce off here, right? Now the key is going to be 6 1/4. Can we get outside of value? Will we get outside of value, right? We're coming up to the top of value now. We got a little backfill. I thought, you know, I could backfill. Looks like they could backfill the 6 1/4, and that would give us 4 letters across. You see these across here? And in fact, that would give us 5 letters across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So, you know, this now that this is filled in, and this is the problem. NASDAQ hasn't taken things out. Dow did. S&Ps did. NASDAQ has remained strong, right? So, you know, this is more filled in. This looks like a pretty well filled in. Now, when you take a look over here, pretty well filled in. So, because we've been in a, and here's another way I use this. I know I'm going to be going back and forth. Now, 99.15 is where the 5-minute pivot is sitting. It could now end up being a target. All right, it can now end up being the target, and I would look at it as a target if we take out 6 1/4. If we take out 6 1/4. So, you know, when we don't, and now we got the CCI starting to move up. We got to see if it's going to cross the center line. This cross happened, but it didn't really manifest. It's kind of flattened out afterwards. All right. So we went from green to gray. So we're saying, you know, we're kind of market neutral right now. You know, and these guys that have these robots that got all the dough, they're in control. They're going to move them. They're going to move the market the way they want to move it right now. Go ahead.
Okay, Lewis, the line
Order
at BTM of your screen going from green to red, it is a bit RSI-like. You can
Yes.
see it falling. Okay, you can see it falling deeper.
The one going green to red. These here, these 2 lines, these are moving averages, but they're not just one moving averages. They're sort of a concoction of a bunch of moving averages, long-term and short-term, that we've put together that we think actually captures the market movement.
Okay.
So it's not just one.
Then it says on the previous BTM, but the price bottom is higher. My guess would be that we would go up.
Right. You're talking about here? If you're talking about here, you got a bullish divergence. So you had a low here, you had a low made here, okay? And then you had a lower low, okay? You had a higher low with a lower RSI. So that's one thing I look at too. Here we are now. We just
Okay, so same with that question. He says, also, is that relative position against the price level?
the current price level.
Yes.
I'm not understanding the question.
A few different tweets here. See
Order
if
filled. Order canceled.
Okay, what was the reason to not take the Globex high short?
I don't know if there wasn't not a reason.
Okay.
We were at exhaustion. I think somebody tweeted to me, "What's a pullback? What's a pullback?" And I kind of said to him, "You can buy them up here. I'm not." So, you know, look, I got the exhaustion, and you know, I think it would have been a good play to short it up there.
Okay. Why CCI and not some other indicator like RSI or MACD?
Because this is ours. It has RSI and MACD built in them. It has different components. This is not. You can't get this somewhere else. You can, this is only on our screens.
Okay.
Look, there's a ton of indicators out there. Everybody's has developed indicators. All right. The problem is you got to get the one that's working, right? It's like when people ask me, can I sell? I'm just going to follow the crude, or I'm going to follow the bonds. I'm going to look. The market, they definitely have some correlations, but how do you pick the one that's correlating at that time? That's the one you want. The one that's going to give you the most accurate trades, right? So the point is that you need to find the one that's working at any given time. And 2 weeks ago, with our bias, you could have bought it or sold it on the opening. Like, one of the things that I like to see is we got a neutral, we got a bias that's positive, and we open up lower. And we've been trading lower most of the morning or most of the night, because that's telling me that those shorts are going to get covered on the opening. Same thing, converse. If we're trading higher every night, we got a negative bias. If you guys have been following me, 2 weeks ago, the market was in a negative bias, and the market would open higher, and basically in 15 minutes it traveled 1,500 points down. Now the market's been taking, what is this, 3.5 hours? All right, we got our RSI here. It's starting to go red. It's gone from green to neutral to red. So not RSI, or CCI, this indicator, all right? So still, to me, I really would feel better if the NASDAQ took it out, all right? And the longer we stay inside here, I think the better chance we're having to go down. Now, we got 3 minutes to the next bracket, and let's see what happens with the next bracket when it opens up. What else?
Ready for a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. How do you use the RSI and the CCI together?
You're asking me a question that you have to talk to Pat about. All I know is Pat's programmed this stuff in for me. We talk about different things. I know these are a combination of moving averages. Okay, so and I'm more. I trade with the pivots. Pat is. We do these experiments every night. So like when I get done tonight, we'll sit down. We'll talk about the market movement and so on. And these are the moving averages and the things that we've used. It's been a work in progress over 15 years. So I can't give you the technical ends of it. I can here what Pat's done for me is try to make the screen idiot-proof for me, right? Because one of the things I do is sometimes I overtrade, and when I overtrade, that's when I end up losing money, right? So he wants me to be able to look at this screen, come up with the indicators, and be able to say, okay, all right, these indicators are going my way. This is what I'm thinking is correct. And it's telling me, remember the other day I said this is this? Well, this is this right now, right? But I got a couple different issues going on. Unfinished, didn't take out the highs, all right? So I've got 2 of the major indexes in a sell and 1 not. So my guess is that the market's going to go down and test the 90 ever right now. But I can't give you confirmation, but I got a cross here. This is red, this is turning red. I would probably put my stop above 6 1/4. Now, that's a 300-point stop from here. Or if we get outside of value, which is 5.5. So it's kind of made, this is what I look for. Or, there's going to be a couple confirmations. This could rally up to the center line right here. And if it crosses, then I got to be concerned with the cross. So based on the way the profile has been built, it's like I said the other day. How do you build a house from the top down? With all the volume on the top. Okay, that ends up being not a very big house. Now, see the mode here? Here's the mode for the day session. Usually, when you have time, which is this time, more time below the mode, that's bullish. Okay. But if you have time above the mode, then that's bearish. So, we're sitting here right in the middle of value. We're sitting right at the VPOC from yesterday, and it's 12:30. It's 1:30 in New York. I have a question. About at this time, we are not giving seed money to anybody. We are developing trading systems and educating people at this point. So I think the Top Step brokers, they have a program. I don't know anything about it. I know that they do have a program. If you get in their program and you pass their program, you could get seed money.
A few questions down here.
Okay.
Skipped over. The gist of all of them are: how do you know how to manage your risk?
Well, managing risk and managing the trade are two different things, right? So managing risk based on how much money you have in your trading account and how big you should trade is one question, and the other question is, do I want to make trades where where I have 200 to 300 point stops and 600 to 700 to 800 points on the top. That's my objective, right? So I just said, right, we're at 93 here. We're kind of in the middle. I'd get out at 3 1/4, or if I was short here, I'd be looking for 90 even. I got a 50-50 chance of making $300 or losing 300 points. Okay. The thing that's going for me on the short side is the fact that I've got these two crossing each other. I've got a red here. I've got red going here. I got YM also negative. That's what you want. Here would have been the better trade, right down in here. Okay, when we got back inside here, you have a 200 point risk, right? 2 to 250, and you had an 800 point top. That would have been the better risk right there. And those are the kind of setups you can find and you can use all the time, but you got to be patient to get them. And that is one of my big problems after 30 years, especially when I used to trade 2,000 bigs a day, 2,000 bigs, okay? And when you trade that, you're used to pulling the trigger. And the screen-based, you can't get out of the way of these guys, the computers, when they start going one way or the other. You just can't get out of the way. It's just very difficult to get out of the way. So you got to wait for the trades and setups to come to you. YouTube, the bell curve, wouldn't you just wait for the third and single to execute a trade, long or short? So you're asking me about single prints, right? I think that's what this individual is asking me. So single prints are, like here, right? So these are all single prints. So what do? We went and we filled them in, right? So the trade could have been I was long. Once it started getting up here, I wanted to wait for this roll of W's. This could have been my exit. It would have been great. Sometimes that works. Sometimes single prints. How about these? How come these single prints didn't get filled in? When are they going to fill those in? It's like, how do I guess right? Which one? Now, if I was long and once I got above this area, I would have said, you know what? I'm just going to put my stop below, and I'm going to wait for the single prints to get in. It all comes down to a matter of timing, and did I, am I on the right side of the market? So that becomes an issue. There's times where I've got a position on, and I see single prints, and I definitely say, okay, this is going my way. There's the target. That's the one I'm looking for. So that's how I use single prints when it's like that. Here's another chart that I use too. Okay, I think I showed this the other day. This is the cash, 1 minute cash. Okay. So this is from the. So this is the SPDC. Okay. So this is from the opening. All right. Let me click more. Okay. Here you go. This is from the opening. Stepped all the way up. Here's our, finally we made our breakdown. So now here's where we're at right here. Will it go back up here, or are we going to take out these lows? That's you know, that's what we're looking at right now. That's the cash market. Sometimes that's the leader. Sometimes the futures are the leader. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, and it's hard to figure out who's in control sometimes.
Ready for one?
Go ahead.
Didn't short the high. When the one time frame stopped, shorted for the stop run below the 2-period low. Exit. Why POC?
Why exit point of control?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, for me, the point of control exit would, well, actually, the first target was 475 because that was the rotation down. Okay. Point of control is, we know that there's going to be a lot of volume there. It's very rare that you. Well, look here. We went to the point of control, and we've now spent 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. There's an hour and 5 minutes deciding whether we're going to go through the point of control or not. So, all right, ISR, here we got our indicator going up to the center point. Will it die here? So the market is definitely trying to make up its mind right here. It's definitely trying to make up its mind right here. So my point is, you can either guess right or guess wrong at this point.
Okay. 2 brackets now came back into value. Should go to the other side to 90-ish? Question.
I like the idea that now we've spent an hour inside value, that, and plus, you know, we're starting to get a little bullish thing here, right? You know, the thing that's throwing this whole trade off for me is the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq it's still bullish, right? So this could be a fake out here, but usually, if you get out your inside. Outside, I mean, inside, outside. Now we've went back inside, and we're spent an hour in here. The more time we spend in there, when we come out of it, it'll be more violent. So my point is, you know, this 475 didn't hold. You know, I still think it's going to test 90 even, but these guys they're gonna mess with you until they decide. It could be a 2 o'clock trade. Could be a 2 o'clock trade.
Ready for one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it true that Brad S. trades around 20,000 ES contracts a day? Any good stories about both of you?
Yeah, I want to hear a good story about Brad. Awesome guy. Brad Sullivan and I were partners at one time. I met him when we were trading in a trading room. I invested in a trading room that became the New York Stock Exchange. It was called Chicago Trading and Arbitrage, and it's well documented that I won a fraud case against my ex-partners, and Archipelago was the precursor. That was Chicago Trading and Arbitrage, and Brad was trading stocks and got frustrated, and I brought him over to trade commodities, and Brad and I'll give you a couple stories. I probably had to buy like 50 phones because he kept throwing the phones out the window every time the market did go his way. Keyboards and so on. So finally I had to start charging him for the equipment. And you know, I backed Brad, and he had just gotten married. He had a lot of pressure, and he had gotten to his situation where he was ready to go. And I pulled him in the office and I said, listen to me. You just got married. You got a lot of pressure. Don't worry about it. and stay out there and do what you're doing. And the rest was history. I, I, I talk to Brad probably 4 or 5 times a year. I know he is trading a fund, and I wouldn't surprise me if he trades 20,000 minis a day. Wouldn't surprise me. Awesome guy, awesome trader. But you know, that's a lot to do with when you're making money or losing money, or your psychological, where you are in life. Can you afford to do this? Do you have to take money out of your account to live on it? Is this is this your occupation? A lot of that has to do with whether you're going to be successful or not. It is really, really your frame of reference sometimes is the most important thing when it comes to trading. It's just, it is what it is. Whether you've made 10 winning trades in a row, or the problem is, here's what happens: you make a lot of winning trades in a row, and then you think you're invincible. Then you make a trade that gives back half your week or month or whatever. And same thing with losing trades. You make 5 or 6 losing trades in a row, and then when you're in a winning trade, you get out of it too soon. So, and I've seen it all. It happens. So one thing I can tell you is preserve your cash, because this business, cash is our inventory. This is like having a 1-minute business plan at all times, right? So when people go and raise money for venture capital, they raise money, they put the plan together, they deploy the capital. Well, you deploy your capital every time you put a trade on. And when you're undercapitalized and you're trading too big for the capital that you have, you'll end up watching the dome instead of saying, well, charts are telling me I should be entering short here, and I should be exiting here. Here's my stop, here's my objective, and I'm going to stick with the plan. So a lot of times what happens is that the plan starts going your way. You start looking at the dome, and you go, oh, I've got $200 made, or I got $300 made, when the objective was to make 800. And it's like this, right? The market's going up and down, back and forth, right? And you keep going and going, thinking, I got to get out. And the problem is, the moment you get out of that trade, it ends up going to your spot and your objective. And that happens when you're undercapitalized and you've made a lot of losing trades, or 5 or 6 in a row. My rule is 3 losing trades in a row, sit back, take a deep breath, and go work out, go do something. Also, go to our blog. I've got 10 rules. Chris Kahn has done an unbelievable job. I got 10 trading rules that everybody breaks, everybody does it. This is what you should follow, and everybody's got them out there. All right. When I wrote these things 20 years ago when we had Teach Trade, I was just talking to you about my life experiences. So go look at those trading rules.
Ready for another one?
Go ahead.
Okay, Lewis, do you take profits on a portion of your positions that is less than the points you are risking? This kind of goes along with that.
Yeah, sometimes you have multiple contracts on, and you'll take profits less, and because you're feeling squeamish about the situation, or so you want to kind of up your average on less of what than you had on. Yes, everybody does it. I've done it. It's kind of hard. Like with Pat, we've developed some trading systems. The systems are what they are, and we don't even look at them anymore. They trade on a computer, and we only look at the end of the day. That's the end. That's the only way we can do this, because if you've done a trading system and you've tested it over 5 years, okay, it's going to be what it is. You can't second guess. Everybody's got a computer today. Whose computer is better? Whose robot's better, right? So when I use those things, you can't look at them. But it's kind of hard. It's just such an emotional business.
Also, along with that question, do you ever move any of your stops to break even before the profit points are reached?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you, all these questions you are asking me has to do with where you are for the week, where you are for the month, where you are for the day. Sometimes you feel invincible and you can't go wrong. So, and then when some other times where you feel like you can't put a trade on, without it going against you. So it all has to do with your confidence and where you're at in the trade in that moment. So now, here, like I said, I told you they're gonna, are we gonna trade between the point of control and 5.5? Remember 6.25 is up here, right? These things are flat. They're bearish to flat. This thing's made a move up. Is it gonna cross here? Right now we went from red to gray, back to red to gray, right? There's really no direction. And it has to do with the fact that the TF and the NASDAQ are not agreeing with us right now, right? If you look up here in my corner, they're up 19.2, we're down 2, Dow's down 31. All of these can change within, a matter of seconds.
Okay.
All right.
When expecting a violent move out of value, will you wait for the edge of value to enter the trade?
So you're asking me about here, right? So now, based on the way the market's been trading, okay, I don't think that the move up, if we take this out, I think the move will be just like it is right now. When it came down, we finally, I mean, who would have known it was going to stop up here? It was a good entry, and then covering it down at 1/2 would have been a great trade, right? 700 points. Could have made that, right? Well, what if you started averaging into it? What if you were short from 4.5 and then some 6.5 and then 9.5? It is what it is. So, will I wait? Right now, I'm in a wait mode. All right. To me, the next area we got to take out is 91.75. If we take out 91.75, and you see these purple lines, that's the high and low of the first 5 minutes of the day. If we get back inside these things, then I think the move starts. And look where it's at too, right at value area low. So once we have moves like this, we start getting back inside here. Then I start looking for it to get. Look, I think this is unfinished, but based on the way it's been trading, they might do this overnight. They might go over and take out the Globex hiding and do this overnight. So, like I said, this is a trade from the middle. Which, it's hard for me. I would rather get in the market here on the way up than try to trade out of the middle, be wrong, then I have to make up the profits from being wrong. All right. So I would rather under 175, I'd be looking that the market's going to keep going down, and above 6.25, I think the market's going to keep going up. So, I can take a look and look at right here, see where this rally started from right here, this candlestick.
A lot of positive feedback, and thank everybody for a lot of retweets on the live event.
Okay. So look, we've spent an hour and 15 minutes here trying to make up its mind around the value area low. Let's see what unfortunately we'll be off when the 1 o'clock bracket hits. All right. Looking at this, bracket J could go go back up to here. 20.95 and back off, which would be the top of value. So, it is it's a difficult right now at this point because it's not making up its mind, and there's too many conflicting. You got these moving averages flat. They're better when they're ascending or descending. And they're flat. And you got, can I say it again? The NASDAQ is holding us up. So it's really, it's a difficult trade at this point.
A little bit of feedback on your book.
Uh,
People started reading the book.
My book, The Pit to the PC, is a memoir about my life. It's not going to tell you how to make money. Now the technical analysis book is pretty good. It's technical analysis. Now remember, we wrote this 20 years ago, so that book is about the fundamentals of technical analysis. But a lot of people, it's funny. My book, I either get 5 stars or 1 star. People buy it thinking that they bought the Holy Grail. But you can get it on Amazon for like $1.99 right now. That's where the book is trading. And it's been out of print. You can get an autographed copy from me if you answer this question. All right? And you get to come in town and spend a day with me trading. Ready? Here it is. Who was the first futures trader? There you go. Go ahead. All you guys on Google, go start Googling it.
Order filled. Order canceled.
I'm ready for a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What indicators are you using on TOS?
These are ours. The pivot, these pivots are ours. This CCI is ours, and this momentum down here, this is stuff that we've programmed. And they're a combination of off-the-shelf indicators, and they're a combination of stuff that we've and how we put them together.
Everything's customized.
It's all customized. Yes. I had a meeting with TOS, and we're probably going to end up making them available on their platform.
Yeah, people are wondering where they can get their hands on the indicator.
I was down there yesterday. And here's the problem with trying to do this live with you guys is that there's a 30-second delay on YouTube. So, that's another thing that kind of hampers this whole decision-making process. All right, let's take a look at something else. There's the cash market again. Look at this.
You ready for a quick question?
Go ahead.
What does it mean when the mode moves down?
All right, see the purple line here? All right. The mode, if we start spending a lot of time down here, okay, and the mode, now this becomes the purple line. That means the mode moved down. So it moved from 2094.75, and maybe it'll move up to here. All right. So
it looks like it can move down to 93 even.
I look at that sometimes. Who said that?
Someone from YouTube.
Are they calculating it? What are they watching? What platform are you watching to get to the mode? Because here's the problem with, if you start looking at volume, this Inside Edge software is using tick volume. TOS doesn't use tick volume. They estimate the volume based on trades per minute. That's the way we used to do it in the old days. It's the way we used to do it in the old days. When we were sitting in the pit and we were throwing cards to not until 2002 did they have volume profile. So we used to throw the cards to we would call out the trade. The Merc would wait at the end of the day, and then they would see what kind of volume it had, find out how many trades we made, and then divide that into that number. And they estimated that each trade was worth 3,000 contracts. So that's how they used to get to it. So I don't know if we can move down to 93. If we're back up here, we're printing more volume again up here. Move out of the middle. Move out of the middle. The NASDAQ screwed us again. Up here, we're going over we crossed that. All right?
Right here, wrong.
5/2, 6/4 is, what we got to be looking for if it gets above that. Go ahead.
Got about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
A submission on who they think is the first guy to trade in the pit.
Who is it? What's the name? Shudui. Who's that?
I don't know what that says.
Go ahead. You guys, no one knows who the first futures trader was. I'll give you a hint. He was Italian. How's that? There you go. All right. Do or die. Here we are. Getting outside value again.
About 5 minutes.
We got about 5 minutes left. Still no answer, huh? Yeah, that's because you think it's an exchange. It's not an exchange, the first futures trader. Okay? All right. I'm going to stop sharing screen so you can see my face when I give you this one. Is this, oh, what do I do here? I hope I didn't screw this up. It's just me?
Yeah.
You can see my face right now? There we go. Perfect. All right. Galileo. Okay? So here's the deal. Galileo invented the telescope, and when all the commodities in town were starting to get low, he was looking at the telescope, looking out over the ocean. He'd see the ships coming in, and he'd go down and make deals with all the merchants about delivering them products at certain prices. Look it up. I'm telling you. Once again, you can never beat the master. I'm the guy. I got all the answers. All right? Listen, we're going to do more of this stuff. You know, I told you, on the sidelines here, you know, I'm looking above 6.25, and if we fail up here and go back down. So, look, we're getting the cross here, moving averages, right? NASDAQ never went out. It may look like we're going to move back up to the highs. I do have a bullish bias on the day. So, taking a look at, sorry, I got to put my glasses on. I'm so vain. I'm like, all right. So, we're unchanged on the day, and YM's down 13. Okay?
Someone said Tony Montana.
Tony Montana's Cuban. He's not Italian. Get your ethnicity down there. Okay, Ming? All right. All right. Once again, we're going to start doing these more often. I want to do one when it's busier, but the problem is we're trying to see if we can get rid of this delay because it's a 30-second delay, and it depends how many people are in the room. So it would be, you know, I think this was good for you guys to kind of see what we're doing and helps you make decisions, and that's what this is about, educating you on your decisions. So good luck. Let me see what we got left. We got 3 minutes left. What do you think? It still look good? Come on. Not bad. I'm 87 years old. 87. I'm looking good for 87. I'm not 87, but I'm 87 on the inside because I've been trading for 30 years. He's looking. This is good looking. Look at this kid. Look at it. Good looking. It's my godson.
Hey, Louis, let me jump in here for a second. I'm keeping the camera on you, but your folks are hearing me. Just want to remind people that you're on Twitter. The handle is @ManOverMarket. You're also on Google+. Just Google @ManOverMarket. You've got a Google+ page. We're posting these live videos every day when you're doing them, but you'll announce them on Twitter as well. And lots of great stuff going on over here on YouTube. People who are watching it live from YouTube, I've been taking their questions, forwarding them to Anthony via Twitter, but we're just connecting all the dots for you. So great conversation, and stay connected. Google+, Twitter, and YouTube. And I think you even have a presence on Facebook at some point, but we'll get that information out there.
Right. Thanks, Debbie. Also, you have to get to our new YouTube channel because we're now posting to a different channel. Also, we're on Podomatic and iTunes. Sorry, YouTunes. I put the companies together, I guess. So iTunes, we're on that too. So for all you people out with those, what do you call it? What do you use? Apple? What is that?
iPads?
Yeah, you use the other thing too, the phone.
iPhone?
iPhone. Stay away from the iPhone. It's got a cloud. It's got clouds. They save all your text messages. All right. All right, everybody. It's been fun. I'll talk to you guys later, and I will let you know the next time we're going to get this live broadcast. We got about a minute left. All right. Did anybody go find out about Galileo yet? Nobody, right?
No, but we got people over here guessing your age.
Oh, yeah? What they got me at?
56.
Yeah. I look 56 because 56 is the new 40. Yeah, I'm 57 actually. I'll be 58 April 10th. Send your birthday gifts. I'll send you an address. All right. All right, Deb. Is that about it?
That looks good.
Okay. All right, everybody. I hope this has been helpful. Look, we got above 6.25 now. Okay. Now, this is starting to top out here, but we're out of that range. Trade from the middle. Trade from the middle. They always get you. I'd be looking for new highs at this point. And now, Quebec, your stop's back in here, back inside. All right.
Say goodbye, Louis.
See you later. Bye.